She's crying about him again. The guy who ghosted her for 3 weeks, showed up drunk at 2 a.m. and somehow got invited in. Her nice boyfriend just texted for the 5th time today. She left him on red. This happens 100,000 times a day, and nobody wants to admit why. She's describing her ex, the one who cheated, lied, manipulated her emotions like a puppet master pulling invisible strings. The one who made her feel simultaneously worthless and addicted to his attention. And then she says something that should shock us but doesn't. I know he's terrible for me, but I've never felt that alive with anyone else. My current boyfriend treats me like a queen, remembers every anniversary, texts me good morning every day, and I feel nothing. This scene plays out in therapy offices worldwide, a confession whispered in wine bars, screamed in late-night phone calls to friends who've heard it all before. The nice guy who does everything right sits at home, refreshing his messages, wondering why she takes hours to respond. Meanwhile, she's thinking about the man who forgot her birthday, but whose indifference somehow made her heart race like a drug she couldn't quit. Here's what's actually happening. Nice guys are playing checkers, while toxic men are playing chess. And the game? It's rigged by 50,000 years of evolution that nobody told you about. 4.5%. That's it. Of every 100 men, women choose 4 or 5. But here's the part that'll make you close this video. It's the same guys every time. The guy treating her badly has 50 matches. You're refreshing an empty inbox. But here's where it gets truly disturbing. Studies show that men displaying aggressive or dominant traits in their photos receive 3 to 4 times more matches than those with warm, friendly smiles. The same woman who posts inspirational quotes about deserving better is fantasizing about Don Draper's casual cruelty, Tyler Durden's anarchic confidence, or Tony Soprano's dangerous unpredictability. Your girlfriend read 50 Shades 3 times. She follows serial killer documentaries like it's her job. She says she wants a nice guy, but her search history says different. We need to talk about why. Serial killers receive thousands of love letters in prison. Ted Bundy had groupies at his trial. Charles Manson got married behind bars. There's even a term for it, hybristophilia, the attraction to dangerous men. But calling it a paraphilia lets us pretend it's rare, when the evidence suggests it's simply the extreme end of a spectrum we're all on. Meanwhile, Ross from Friends became the cultural punching bag for nice guys everywhere. The man who brought her favorite flowers, remembered every detail about her life, and ended up watching her choose Paolo, the aggressive Italian who barely spoke English but radiated raw masculine energy. Ted Mosby spent 9 seasons showing us exactly how not to attract women, over-investing, pedestalizing, planning their entire future on the first date while she's texting her ex who won't commit to dinner plans. Why does the woman who says she wants emotional availability ghost the man who provides it? Why does she complain about players while rewarding player behavior with her attention, her time, her body? Why does "I want someone who makes me laugh" translate to choosing the man whose mockery cuts deep enough to make her question her worth? Delete your dating apps. I'm serious. Delete them right now, because until you understand what I'm about to tell you, you're wasting your time. Women aren't choosing wrong. They're choosing exactly what their brain is screaming for. Every woman who chooses chaos over comfort, danger over devotion, is responding to evolutionary wiring that predates civilization itself. But this isn't just about biology. It's about something Carl Jung understood decades before dating apps made these patterns undeniable. The shadow, the animus, the rejected aspects of the psyche that we project onto others because we can't bear to own them ourselves. You text her good morning, he leaves her on read. You plan dates, he cancels last minute. You remember her birthday, he forgets her name. Guess who she can't stop thinking about? He's operating from a framework that assumes attraction follows moral laws. Be good, get rewarded. But attraction doesn't care about your goodness. Attraction is amoral, unconscious, and ruthlessly honest about power dynamics we pretend don't exist. The very fact that he needs a strategy reveals the problem. Authenticity cannot be performed. What if everything you've been told about how attraction works is not just wrong, but backwards? What if nice isn't actually nice at all, but a covert contract written in fear? What if the bad boys aren't winning despite their flaws, but because those flaws reveal something essential about masculine psychology that the nice guy has surgically removed from himself? We're about to explore why the nice guy finishing last isn't a bug in the system. It's a feature. And understanding this mechanism might be the most important psychological insight for any man, wondering why doing everything right feels so wrong, and for any woman caught between the safety she thinks she should want and the danger she actually craves. The truth is darker than you think, but it's also more liberating than you can imagine. If you're watching this alone right now, while she's probably with him, I need you to understand something. This isn't your fault. But staying this way, that's on you. The next 10 minutes will hurt. Good. Pain means you're ready to change. Your dad either wasn't there or he was there but checked out. Now you're trying to be the good man he never was. But here's the mindfuck. That's exactly why she's not attracted to you. Robert Glover in No More Mr. Nice Guy traces the nice guy syndrome to a specific generational wound. Boys raised by women who learned that masculine energy itself was dangerous. These boys watched their fathers either disappear entirely or become shells of men, beaten down by divorce courts and cultural messaging that told them their very nature was toxic. So they made an unconscious decision. I'll be different. I'll be safe. I'll be nice. Every nice guy has a dark side he's hiding, not from her, from himself. And women can smell that fear like sharks smell blood. The bad boy. He's friends with his demons. That's the difference. The nice guy hasn't eliminated his aggression, his selfishness, his raw desire. He simply buried it beneath a performance of harmlessness that fools everyone except the primal brain of the woman he's trying to attract. Think about the nice guy's operating system. He gives to get. Every gesture of kindness is a covert contract. I'll listen to your problems for 3 hours and you'll realize I'm boyfriend material. I'll remember your coffee order and you'll see I'm not like other guys. I'll agree with everything you say and you'll reward me with desire. But desire cannot be negotiated. As Rollo Tomasi writes in The Rational Male, genuine desire is non-negotiable. It's either there or it isn't, and no amount of good behavior tokens can purchase it. The woman's unconscious knows what the nice guy refuses to admit. His niceness is manipulation, dressed in moral drag. Every "you deserve better" is really "you deserve me." Every "I'm not like other guys" is a confession that he's exactly like other guys, just too afraid to own it. His suppressed shadow, all that disowned aggression and sexuality, creates an energetic void that women instinctively recoil from. Nature abhors a vacuum, especially a masculine one. Now consider the toxic man, the bad boy who breaks all the rules and gets all the rewards. He's not attractive because he's cruel. He's attractive because his cruelty signals something primal. He puts himself first. In a world of men who've forgotten they're allowed to have needs, the man who unapologetically takes what he wants becomes magnetic. He's integrated what Jung called the shadow, the dark, rejected, primitive aspects of personality that civilized society teaches us to hide. Nietzsche saw this coming. In Beyond Good and Evil, he warned that the domestication of man would create a race of last men, comfortable, harmless, and utterly contemptible. The nice guy is Nietzsche's last man in dating form. He's traded his will to power for the hope of being chosen. He's so moral that he's become immoral, so selfless that he's lost his self entirely. But the woman choosing the bad boy isn't making a mistake. She's following an ancient wisdom her conscious mind can't articulate. Jung's concept of the animus explains why every woman carries an unconscious masculine image formed from her father, her culture, and thousands of years of evolution. When she meets a man who's sacrificed his masculine essence to be safe, her animus recognizes the deception. But when she meets a man who owns his darkness, even if that darkness is destructive, her animus responds with recognition. Here is someone real. This is why Tyler Durden became a cultural icon. You're not your job. You're not how much money you have in the bank. You are not your fucking khakis. Fight Club spoke to a generation of men who'd been raised to be productive, polite, and passionless. Tyler represented everything they'd been taught to reject: violence, chaos, raw masculine energy unleashed. The film's genius was showing that the alternative to being a nice guy wasn't becoming a sociopath. It was integrating both sides into authentic wholeness. The Red Pill community, for all its toxicity, stumbled onto a truth that polite society refuses to acknowledge. Female hypergamy is real. Women are biologically wired to seek the highest status male they can attract. And status isn't determined by kindness. It's determined by power, confidence, and the ability to navigate hierarchy. The nice guy's egalitarian worldview blinds him to this reality. He treats her as an equal when she's testing to see if he's her superior, not morally, but in terms of masculine-feminine polarity. Schopenhauer, that great pessimist, understood that desire itself is suffering. The nice guy suffers because he desires from a place of lack. He needs her validation to feel whole. The bad boy creates suffering because he desires from a place of abundance. He wants her but doesn't need her. This difference in attachment style creates a power dynamic that tilts everything in his favor. But here's the philosophical knife twist. Both men are trapped in the same prison, just in different cells. The nice guy is enslaved by his need to be good, the bad boy by his need to be bad. Neither has achieved what Jung called individuation, the integration of all aspects of the psyche into a whole person. Neither has transcended the game itself. The woman caught between them isn't shallow or broken. She's responding to incomplete men with incomplete choices. She can choose safety without passion or passion without safety. But the integrated man who offers both remains as mythical as the unicorn. Her tragedy isn't that she chooses wrong, but that she's choosing between two versions of the same fundamental split in masculine psychology. What we're really seeing is a civilizational crisis playing out in the sexual marketplace. We've created a culture that demonizes authentic masculinity while wondering why women are drawn to its shadow expression. We've taught men that their power is toxic while being surprised when women choose men who refuse to apologize for it. We've made niceness a virtue while making it simultaneously unattractive, a double bind that drives men insane and women into the arms of those who never tried to be nice in the first place. The consequences ripple outward like a stone thrown into still water, each circle wider and more destructive than the last. Start with the nice guy himself, refreshing his phone at 2 a.m., counting the hours since she read his message without responding. His brain, hijacked by intermittent reinforcement, the most addictive psychological pattern known to neuroscience, keeps him trapped in hope. Maybe this time will be different. Maybe if he just finds the right words, the right gesture, the right level of availability without seeming desperate. But desperation leaks through every interaction, like blood through bandages. His prefrontal cortex might be composing casual messages, but his limbic system is screaming its need across every word. Women's mirror neurons pick up this incongruence instantly, the mismatch between what he says and what his energy communicates. Her unconscious recognizes a predator disguised as prey, and her attraction circuits shut down with the finality of a slammed door. The woman, meanwhile, finds herself in a different prison. She cycles through relationships with men who activate her trauma bonds, that intoxicating mixture of fear and desire that therapists call repetition compulsion, but feels like coming home to a house on fire. Each toxic relationship deepens neural pathways laid down in childhood, where love meant walking on eggshells, where attention had to be earned through perfectionism or crisis, where daddy's approval came and went like weather. Here's what neuroscience reveals. The same dopamine circuits that respond to cocaine light up when she sees his name on her phone, but only if he's been inconsistent, unavailable, slightly cruel. The nice guy's constant availability creates no dopamine spike, no addictive cycle. He's emotional fast food when her nervous system has been conditioned to crave starvation, punctuated by feasts. Her friends tell her she's addicted to drama, but it's deeper. She's addicted to the neurochemical cocktail that only intermittent reinforcement can provide. Society watches this dance and creates entire industries around the wreckage. Dating coaches sell how to be an alpha courses to broken men. Therapists build careers helping women break the pattern without addressing the cultural forces that created it. Dating apps gamify the whole disaster, turning human connection into a slot machine where everyone loses but can't stop pulling the lever. The real casualty, authentic intimacy, becomes impossible. The nice guy can't be intimate because he's performing a role, carefully calibrating his niceness to maximize return on investment. The bad boy can't be intimate because vulnerability would shatter his power position. The woman can't be intimate with either because she's not choosing from her authentic self. She's choosing from her wounds, her conditioning, her unintegrated animus projections. Watch how this plays out in bedrooms across the world. The nice guy, if he ever gets there, brings his mother issues between the sheets. Sex becomes another arena for his covert contracts. If I focus entirely on her pleasure, she'll finally value me. But his repressed sexuality, his disowned aggression, his fear of his own desire creates an energetic castration that no technique can overcome. She feels like she's making love to an apology. The bad boy brings his father issues, sex as conquest, as validation of his power, as proof he's not the weak boy who couldn't make daddy stay or mommy happy. He performs dominance like the nice guy performs submission, both trapped in reaction to wounds they won't acknowledge. She might orgasm from the intensity, but she's essentially alone, being used as a prop in his psychological theater. The societal implications stretch even further. Marriage rates plummet as women can't find men they both desire and trust. Birth rates collapse as the mating dance becomes too exhausting to complete. Children grow up watching their mothers pine for men who hurt them, while good men remain invisible. Boys learn that authenticity doesn't pay. Girls learn that love requires pain. We've created a generation of men who've been psychologically castrated by a culture that fears masculine power, then wonder why women seek that power in its most primitive, unintegrated form. The nice guys retreat into pornography and video games, safe spaces where they can experience potency without risk. The players accumulate body counts that leave them increasingly unable to pair bond, treating women like interchangeable units of validation. But here's the darkest consequence. We're selecting for sociopathy. The dating marketplace rewards dark triad traits: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. The men who succeed most are often those most capable of mimicking emotions they don't feel, manipulating without conscience, discarding without remorse. We're literally breeding for disconnection, selecting against empathy, creating a future where authentic human bonding becomes extinct. The spiritual consequences cut deepest. Both men and women lose connection to their souls in this game. The nice guy betrays his authentic self every time he suppresses his truth to avoid conflict. The bad boy betrays his heart every time he chooses power over connection. The woman betrays her intuition every time she overrides the quiet voice saying, "This isn't love," because the trauma bonding feels too familiar to resist. We're witnessing something Aldous Huxley predicted in Brave New World, a society where real human connection becomes impossible because we've forgotten what it looks like. But instead of Soma, we're drugged on dating apps, pick-up artistry, and therapy speak that pathologizes desire while never addressing its roots. We've created a world where everyone performs intimacy while no one experiences it. The cycle perpetuates itself. Nice guys have sons who watch them fail and become players. Players have sons who watch them win empty victories and become nice guys in rebellion. Women have daughters who inherit both the wounds and the cynicism, approaching relationships like war zones where someone must lose for someone to win. Jung warned that what we don't make conscious will rule us as fate. The entire dating marketplace has become ruled by unconscious forces, shadow projections, animus possession, unintegrated trauma, and civilizational lies about human nature. Until we make these forces conscious, we're doomed to repeat patterns that nobody chooses, but everyone perpetuates, creating a wasteland where love itself becomes a casualty of war between the sexes. Tomorrow morning, do something different. When she texts, wait. When she tests you, push back. When you want to say yes, say maybe. Watch what happens. You'll be shocked. Not the performative vulnerability of sharing your feelings to score points, but the raw admission of what you've been hiding. Every nice guy must face the moment of truth. You're not nice, you're terrified. Terrified of rejection, of conflict, of your own power, of the possibility that if you showed up authentically, you might be exactly who women have been rejecting all along. But here's the paradox that changes everything. Women aren't rejecting you for your darkness. They're rejecting you for your refusal to own it. The bad boy doesn't win because he's an asshole. He wins because he's integrated enough of his shadow to show up as a complete human being, even if that integration is partial and destructive. He's at least honest about his selfishness, while you're lying about your selflessness. David Dada in The Way of the Superior Man offers a radical reframe. Stop trying to be liked and start being present. Presence requires accessing the very masculine energy you've been taught to suppress. It means standing in your truth even when she tests you, especially when she tests you, because she will test you, not from malice, but from an ancient feminine wisdom that knows the difference between a man who's choosing to be kind and one who's just too weak to be dangerous. The rebellion begins with reclaiming your right to say no. No to being her emotional tampon. No to pretending her every opinion is fascinating. No to sacrificing your mission for her moods. The nice guy believes saying no will drive her away. But watch what happens when you actually do it. Watch how her eyes change, how her body language shifts, how suddenly you exist in her reality as a man rather than a utility. This isn't about becoming an asshole. It's about integration. Jung called it the transcendent function, the ability to hold opposites without choosing sides. You can be kind without being weak, aggressive without being cruel, sexual without being predatory. The key is removing the performance and accessing the authentic energy underneath. Start with your body. The nice guy lives in his head, disconnected from the primal wisdom of muscle and bone. Join a boxing gym, lift heavy weights, learn to fight, not to hurt anyone, but to remember you can. Feel the surge of testosterone that comes from physical challenge. The clean aggression that has nothing to do with hatred and everything to do with life force. Your body knows truths your socialized mind has forgotten. Next, examine your relationship with your father. The nice guy epidemic is fundamentally a father wound epidemic. Whether he was absent, weak, or brutal, you learned that masculine energy was either dangerous or pathetic. but you can't integrate what you haven't grieved. Feel the rage at his failures, feel the longing for his approval, then let it burn through you until you realize the only approval that matters is your own. Here's where it gets counterintuitive. Stop pursuing women entirely. The nice guy's entire identity revolves around female validation. Every action is calculated for its potential to generate attraction, but attraction flows toward the man with a mission beyond getting laid. Find what matters more than women, your art, your business, your spiritual path, and pursue it with the obsession you've been wasting on text messages. Watch what happens when you develop what Rollo Tomassi calls outcome independence. When rejection stops feeling like death because you're too busy building your empire to notice. When her attention becomes a pleasant bonus rather than oxygen. The same women who ignored you suddenly appear, drawn by the very indifference you couldn't fake when you needed them. But the deepest rebellion is internal. Stop believing you need to earn love. The nice guy operates from a core wound that says he's not enough as he is. Every gesture of niceness is an attempt to add value to a being he sees as inherently worthless. But love isn't a transaction. It's a recognition. The moment you stop trying to earn what can only be freely given, you become attractive in ways that transcend any strategy. This means killing the fantasy of the perfect relationship where you're finally appreciated for your goodness. That relationship doesn't exist because it's built on a lie that love is a reward for good behavior rather than a response to authentic presence. The bad boy gets this accidentally. He's too narcissistic to believe he needs to earn anything. But conscious masculinity means knowing your worth without needing to prove it through conquest or submission. The practical steps are simple, but not easy. Start saying what you actually think, not what you think she wants to hear. Express your desires directly instead of hoping she'll read your mind. Set boundaries and enforce them, even when, especially when, she pushes back. Stop apologizing for your existence. Take up space. Have opinions. Want things. Be willing to lose her rather than lose yourself. Learn from men who've integrated both light and shadow. Study Marcus Aurelius, who commanded empires while maintaining philosophical depth. Muhammad Ali, who was simultaneously fierce and playful. James Baldwin, who channeled rage into literature. These men didn't choose between power and sensitivity, they transcended the choice itself. The ultimate rebellion is realizing that the toxic, nice dichotomy is itself a trap. Both are responses to wounds, reactions to programming, performances of incomplete masculinity. The integrated man doesn't need to be nice because his kindness flows from strength, not fear. He doesn't need to be toxic because his power comes from purpose, not domination. He's playing a different game entirely, one where authenticity trumps strategy and presence dissolves every technique. When you reach this place, women's responses become irrelevant to your worth. You'll attract some and repel others, but both responses will be to who you actually are rather than who you're pretending to be. And that's when the real magic happens, when you finally become attractive to the only person whose approval ever mattered, yourself. Here's the truth that shatters every dating strategy, every pill, red, blue, or black, every guru's system for cracking the code of attraction. The entire game is a distraction from the real work. You've been fighting shadows on the wall while the fire behind you burns your life to ash. The woman you're chasing, the validation you're seeking, the identity you're constructing, it's all Maya, illusion, a cosmic joke you're not getting. The ultimate revelation isn't about women at all, it's about death, your death. The nice guy and the bad boy are both running from the same existential terror, that life is finite, that nothing you do matters, that you'll die alone regardless of who's in your bed. The nice guy thinks if he's good enough, death won't find him. The bad boy thinks if he's powerful enough, death can't touch him. Both are children whistling past the graveyard, pretending their sexual strategies are salvation. But consciousness cuts through delusion like a sword through smoke. When you truly grasp your mortality, not intellectually but in your bones, everything shifts. The need for female validation reveals itself as a pathetic attempt to feel immortal through another's eyes. The notch count becomes a number on a tombstone. The performance of masculinity, whether nice or toxic, shows itself as armor against the void. This is what every spiritual tradition has been pointing toward. The Buddhists call it emptiness. The existentialists call it the absurd. Christ called it dying to yourself, but they're all describing the same recognition. You are fundamentally alone. You will die alone, and no amount of romantic love can change this basic fact. Once you accept this, truly accept it, you're free. Free from what? From the entire paradigm that's been torturing you. The nice guy's covert contracts dissolve because there's no cosmic accountant keeping score. The bad boy's conquests become meaningless because you can't fuck your way to immortality. The woman's choice between them reveals itself as choosing between two forms of sleepwalking, two ways of avoiding the central question of existence. How do you live authentically in the face of death? Here's where Jung's individuation reveals its true power. It's not about becoming attractive to women, it's about becoming whole in the face of annihilation. When you integrate your shadow, you're not doing it to get laid. You're doing it because carrying your projection to the grave is a waste of the brief miracle of consciousness. When you develop your animus or anima, it's not to understand the opposite sex, it's to stop being psychologically possessed by your own unconscious contents. The integrated man doesn't need women because he's already whole. But here's the cosmic joke. That's precisely when they appear. Not the broken women seeking their complementary wound, but whole women seeking their equal. The relationship that emerges from two individuated beings meeting isn't based on need, projection, or biological imperatives. It's based on the only thing that survives death: conscious love. Conscious love has nothing to do with the drama you've been calling relationships. It's what happens when two people who've faced their own emptiness choose to create meaning together, not because they need to, but because the alternative, creating meaning alone, is equally valid, but less interesting. It's love without possession, intimacy without fusion, passion without addiction. It's what becomes possible when you stop using another person as medicine for your existential condition. But most will never reach this place. They'll spend their lives bouncing between nice guy and bad boy, between pursuer and pursued, between hope and disappointment. They'll blame feminism or the patriarchy, hypergamy or toxic masculinity, dating apps or social conditioning. They'll try every strategy, read every book, adopt every philosophy except the one that matters. You are already complete, already worthy, already enough. The seeking itself is the sickness. The final pill, if we must use that metaphor, is clear. There is no pill. There's only waking up to what's always been true. You were never broken. Women were never the enemy. The bad boys weren't winning, and the nice guys weren't losing. Everyone was just unconscious, playing out patterns written in their wounds, mistaking the map for the territory, the performance for the person. When you see this clearly, compassion arises naturally. For yourself, fumbling through existence, trying to find love in all the wrong places. For the women, seeking safety and excitement in men who can provide neither. For the bad boys, as terrified as anyone beneath their bravado. For the nice guys, whose strategy of goodness is its own form of courage. Everyone's doing their best with the consciousness they have. Everyone's seeking the same thing: to feel real, to feel connected, to feel alive before the darkness comes. The path forward isn't about becoming a better man to attract better women. It's about becoming more conscious so you can participate in the grand mystery with your eyes open. Whether that includes a relationship or not becomes irrelevant. You're no longer performing masculinity, you're expressing essence. You're no longer seeking validation, you're radiating presence. You're no longer afraid of rejection because you've already accepted the ultimate rejection. Life itself will dismiss you in the end. This is the secret the great lovers knew. Casanova wasn't great because of his techniques, but because he treated each encounter as a dance with mortality. Don Juan's catalogue of conquests was really a meditation on the fleeting nature of pleasure. Every true romantic is actually a mystic in disguise, using human love as a gateway to the divine, not because it satisfies, but because its very inability to satisfy points toward what does. So the choice isn't between being nice or being toxic. The choice is between sleeping and waking, between reacting and responding, between performing life and living it. The woman you think you want is a projection. The man you think you need to become is a mirage. The only real question is, how deeply can you inhabit this moment, this body, this brief flash of consciousness between two eternities? When you find that answer, not in words but in lived experience, the entire sexual marketplace reveals itself as a kindergarten game you've outgrown. You might still play, but with the lightness of someone who knows it's just a game. You might still love, but with the freedom of someone who needs nothing from it. You might still suffer, but with the clarity of someone who knows suffering is just sensation plus story, and you're the author of every story you tell. This is what awaits on the other side of the nice guy, tired bad boy dichotomy. Not a better strategy, but the end of strategy itself. Not more success with women, but the recognition that success and failure are equally empty categories in the face of what's real. Not becoming who women want, but becoming who you are when nobody's watching, when the performance ends, when you finally stop trying to earn your existence and simply embody it. The cosmic joke? When you reach this place, you become irresistibly attractive. Not because you've mastered some technique, but because you've mastered yourself. Women sense it immediately. Here's someone who's not trying to get anything from them, not projecting anything onto them, not using them as validation or salvation. Here's someone actually present, actually alive, actually free. And freedom, it turns out, is the ultimate aphrodisiac. In 6 months, you'll watch nice guys making the same mistakes you used to make. You'll see it everywhere. And that girl who rejected you, she'll wonder what changed. But by then, you'll be too busy to notice. That's how you'll know it worked. Comment below if you're ready to stop being the guy she texts when she's bored. But warning, once you see this, you can't unsee it.